Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My hair is dark again and I did not intend this to be this dark. But okay, my hair just wants to be dark apparently. I let it be. And this is not the topic of this video today anyway, so let's just skip that one. In today's video, I'm going to be slightly more serious, depending on how long you know me, how many videos you have seen of me, what videos you have seen. Serious is gonna have a different meaning. But for me, this is gonna be more serious than usual because I'm basically going to criticize society. I did not plan to do such kind of video at all. I just, at one point, like a few months ago, I started writing down stuff that I was like, why do people actually do this? I was like really shocked about stuff, like when talking to classmates, like former classmates, when talking to my family members, to friends, to people on the streets, or looking at people interacting. I was like, wow, you can avoid that kind of stuff, which you did right now to avoid consequences, but you did not. Of course, there are stereotypical things that we all know are annoying, but I mean the stuff that is toxic and that probably most of you know to some degree as well. So you will probably relate to me or find yourself in some of those situations as well. I did not intend to do this kind of video because I was like, well, this is kind of serious. Like, am I going to do this? I'm not sure. But then the list got slightly bigger, longer, and this is not big. Like, I did not even plan to make a list out of it. I did not try to make like 5 points, 10 points, or 15 points, you know, like a beautiful number out of it. I just had some stuff on paper. I was like, it's not as much, but maybe it's worth a talk. And I'm not quite sure yet what my intention of this video is. Maybe just to find out for myself that I'm not alone with these struggles. And maybe if I'm not, to say that to people that you're not alone with whatever you're experiencing, if it's any of those things, and maybe even hint at us, at me, at yourself, that we're also doing things wrong sometimes. Maybe we're even doing some of those things subconsciously and that we maybe should stop doing them as long as we can be aware of them and just make life in society easier, because these are basically things we do to each other. So each of us is a part of it at some point. We're just making life for ourselves as a society. Not so, you know, glamorous through that, but we're not perfect. We all do mistakes, that's clear, but there are some things you can avoid or reduce. I'm not saying you have to do this and that, but it's just I share stuff that is on my mind that I want to let go, and maybe you'll be at some degree entertained or touched by that. So let's just begin with the first thing I noticed, and it's not the very first thing that came on my list, but it's the first thing that has a really good place as number one in the chronology concerning a video, the internet. That's why I say, please, before you write anything in the comments, before you make any judgments, watch this video till the end. If not, you can click away, you can watch something different, but don't make any judgments before you finish watching it until the very end, because this is one of my points. Aggressive people who are opening their aggressive big mouth before they actually know what is going on and making judgments, punishing people in their head, throwing tomatoes at people in their head without knowing what the meaning of what those people may say or what the triggers actually are. They just start hating on people, making a big fuss out of a really small issue, interpreting things completely differently because they just don't know the explanation of it, because they're triggered, they're left alone with this trigger, with this anger, and they're like, this is what's written on my forehead now, and I don't even try to look in the mirror with it, I don't even try to erase it, I don't even try to change it in any way, I don't even try to understand what the meaning of that is, what is written on my forehead, on their forehead, what just came out of their mouth, what just came out of my mouth. To make it easier to understand, a good example and my personal trigger for this point was actually my video about ugly K-pop idols. This video is popular and it is hated as fuck for some reason. I have no idea why. Then I start reading the comments. I have every second, not even second, like I'd say 60-70% of the comments I get on my notifications is under that video. Most of them saying RM is not ugly. And some of them, why do you call RM ugly? He's not ugly at all. You are ugly. And I'm like, when did I say he's ugly? If those people watched the video till the very end, they would know that I did not say that.
This is something that hurts in my heart the most, and where I just think, what the hell, really, what the hell? Rap Monster from BTS. I don't know why people consider him ugly. I have so many pictures where he's so good looking, and this is one of it. I mean, look at this cute smile. But they are not ugly. They're definitely not ugly.
And still they're hating me, saying that I'm an ugly bitch because I support this kind of opinion, and what the fuck? I mean, come on. Those people look at me as being superficial in those videos. Okay, they can do that. They're being just as superficial with their judgments, calling me an ugly bitch, fighting fire with fire, and not accepting that even if I said they're ugly, that this is my opinion, they did not accept that. Really low quality judgments. Maybe those fans are sassing fans, those extreme fans. There are tons of those kinds of people out there. And I can tell you not to hate back on you, but to tell you as a warning, this kind of attitude will make your life extremely unhappy. If you judge everything after 1 second being into it, you're gonna have big problems and misunderstandings in your future. So before judging anything, finish watching, reading, consuming whatever it is that you're doing. Don't be angry about something that you made up yourself, wasting nerves. That's why even if I don't like a video from the very beginning, even if I don't want to watch it like on YouTube until the very end because I'm like, okay, I don't like this, I'm not doing any judgments and writing comments or disliking it, because I know I haven't watched it till the end. I have no idea what they say in the end, so I just leave it neutral. That's the best thing you can do for other people and for yourself mentally. Number 2 is actually number 2 on my list. Great. That is commenting on the appearance of other people, especially weight. Like, why do you do that? It's the thing that you can avoid so easily, but you're doing it. I mean, it's the most unnecessary thing and the most toxic one, or like one of the most toxic things you can say to other people, confront other people with. Not is it only superficial, but also is it harming? Like, it's a mosquito that's maybe when it bites you doesn't hurt as much, happens, but this mosquito may have diseases that can be so dangerous for your life. Just avoid that. Especially if you have a normal relationship with yourself. People who comment on the appearance of other people usually have problems with themselves, with their own appearance. That's why it's like they try to compare themselves, whatever, and I know those people need to work on themselves, which I recommend. But you're confronting other people with how they look like, saying, oh, you gained weight. Sounds like such an easy comment, but girl or boy, this can have such tremendous consequences in the head of that person. You have no idea what this person is going through in that moment. Maybe it has an eating disorder. You have no idea. Maybe that person's gonna starve itself for the next 7 days because you said that comment. You have no idea what is going on in other people's minds. We're all different. We have all different struggles. We have all different demons sitting in our head or behind us. And different comments, different influences can trigger those. This can never be too positive to say, oh, you gained weight. Except for a person that maybe wanted to gain weight. But you have no idea if that's intentional or not. Not saying it will be still better than saying it. This is the easiest to avoid. So if you can avoid it, just avoid it. Don't get into that kind of superficial and really toxic conversation. Oh, your skin got so bad. You lost weight. This top looks weird on you. You're so short. You're so tall. Some people may like it, but I know that many people will just feel weird about that. So stop it. And if you feel something like that coming up in yourself, see another person that maybe gained weight and you want to say it, stop, turn around, look inside. What is going on in your life right now? Am I struggling myself? Because usually that's what is the case then. So how can I maybe work on myself instead of throwing that to the outside? I think this is something many people can agree on. Number 3, people that do not accept that tastes are different. That people can have different tastes in music, in food, in clothing, in hairstyles, in books they read, and people they surround themselves with. Tastes are different in each degree of our life. Tastes can be similar. People can have many similar tastes, but they can never be completely 100% the same. Having a concern about, oh, that person does not like the same music as I do, why is this pizza not tasty for you, it's so tasty for me, is a low quality concern that you're just wasting your time with. Just accept that tastes are different. If tastes were not different, this world would not look so colorful. It would be hella boring. I don't even know if we would be where we are right now. Probably not, if we're all the same. So whether those people think that they're always right about everything they say, or they're afraid of things that are different. Again, this is also an issue to work on yourself, with your inner world. Make it a goal to find things that are more relevant, because those kinds of small issues are just taking up a lot of unnecessary nerves, you know, like not unnecessary nerves, but like unnecessarily taking up nerves. Like my mom recently asked me why I don't like this cake. We discussed about it for so long. I was like, I just don't like it. I just don't like the taste of that cake. And she was like, but I like it, but it's so good. Why do you not like it? Like, what the fuck? What is the level of this conversation? It's close to zero. Why would you do that? So just accept that. There's so many more fun things to focus on than the difference of tastes, like in a negative way, or being upset about that person not liking the same thing as you do. Hell yeah! Cool! You like that thing? Oh, I like that thing. Oh, so cool. We like different things. The world is so big. There are so many things to prefer, to bias. I think it's nice, isn't it? Number 4 would be slightly more serious again, and it's tremendous. Alcoholism and drug consumption in our society these days. Though, I mean, what means these days? History is long, and definitely people have been consuming a lot of shit as well, or found shit in the past. So I'm not blaming only our culture, I mean in our timeline, but this all accumulates to an extent that alcohol is glorified for absolutely no reason. I don't understand why people are pushing each other to consume that shit in big amounts to an extent that they cannot walk anymore, that they are throwing up in the corner of the street somewhere. This glorification of all that consumption makes zero sense to me, and it is absolutely toxic. Of course it is toxic, we all know that, and that's the issue. We all know that smoking is bad. We all know that alcohol is bad. And coming up with comments being like, oh, but cannabis is not as bad as alcohol, is not an excuse. It's still a drug that makes you addicted and has influences on your body. And glorifying it is not the solution. Thinking that those things lead to happiness, I don't even know if that is the true reason people consume that. Many people just started because they have a low self-esteem, because they want to be cool, for example, smoking. People that think that they can reduce their stress with that. There are different reasons, and I don't blame anyone for doing so, because, I mean, people have different mental states and triggers that make them do certain things that are bad, and shit happens. I say that. We're all only humans, and especially today it is just hard to stay away from all those things. We're living in a society where industries are looking for you being unsatisfied with yourself, commercializing toxic images of women, men, people in general. They want you to consume that shit. It's not easy to not fall in those traps once in a while. But why are we glorifying this? This glorification goes in with consistency. Some people do it all the time until they're addicted and cannot control their life anymore. I just don't understand that thing. I don't have a concrete solution right now for that one, or I have no idea how to stop this. So this is the point where I'm like, okay, I have my opinion about that, but I have no idea how to make it better. But I just see that it's bad. So that's just a statement. I cannot save the world. But still, if you're not addicted, you can say no after 1 or 2 glasses when you feel like, okay, this is enough for me. Because we all know those numbers, how many car accidents there are, how many deaths through alcohol or other drugs are there a year. We all know that, but we ignore it. It just doesn't get in our minds. And it's just time to be more considerate about that. Maybe that will even make the first big step. Let's see how things go. It's not an easy topic. Many people will be offended maybe about that if they have like alcoholism issues in their families. I accept that. I'm sorry for those people, and I pray for things to get better for you. But I just want to reach out to those people who maybe don't see this as a serious problem and still glorify such things and don't take these things seriously. And the last thing for this video, at least, it is that I don't understand how people, some people at least, many people maybe even, can forget things so easily. so fast. I don't mean small things like, oh, I forgot to give you the money back. I forgot to go to that appointment. I totally forgot about it because I'm so stressed. Oh, I forgot to wash my hair yesterday. I forgot to call you last night because I was so late. That's not what I'm talking about. We're all humans. Such stuff happens from time to time. I'm talking about, for example, you've been together with a person for so long. I don't necessarily mean relationships, like partnerships, but I mean you've been in the same school, in the same class with a person for years, for 10, 12 years. And then that person comes to you being like, oh, I don't even remember you being in my elementary school. Okay, with some people, I'd be like, okay, if I've never seen them after that again, or if I never was really interacting with them a lot, could have maybe happened to me as well. But then I connect this to scenario 2, those people forgetting about what they have done to you in the past. People who left you with trauma and resentment, telling you then that I don't even remember we've been in the same class. They make you feel like the last idiot on this planet Earth. Though actually it's not your fault. The responsibility is on them in that case, and they are the idiots of that situation. For example, bullying at school. Being bullied by a girl for 2 or 3 years in elementary school, and even then into middle school for a while, and it's been a big issue. It's been a big issue with parents and meetings and tears and wanting to just quit everything. And then after a few years being like, oh, I don't even remember, like, we've been in the same year back then. Like, oh, is it really? Great. It makes you feel that this person just played with your mentality, with your physical life, maybe even. They don't even intend or don't even see that there is a reason to apologize, and there is a reason to be concerned or to be more respectful if you regret things. Because they talk about their crimes as that was none. Just playing, I don't even remember it. I wonder if, okay, overdoing it, exaggerating, if people like that would even kill a person and then forget about it in like 20 years or something. Maybe that's too overdone, I know. But leading people to an extent that they maybe develop mental issues, become suicidal, become depressive, anxious, and you just don't see your responsibility in those things. How is that? Or ex-partners that you maybe see again, the first romance ever, it was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I will never forget this, I love you till the very end. And then they're like, oh, we've been to that place every day? Really? Not just once? Like, we've been there really every day? Like, you mean like almost every day? Like, really? And I don't remember. Oh, seems like I'm a bad ex-partner for some reason. I'm not blaming ex-couples who do that. Like, I mean, if you want to forget it, I mean, you cannot control everything. But it makes some people feel, especially if it's things that you usually don't forget so easily, that they're just staying back somewhere, that they're not coming forward, that they're the problem, that they are useless, that they're still traumatized, that they cannot move on. That's the feeling that you evoke. And I really wonder if people who seem to forget it really forget that, or if they just pretend to forget it, which is not better than really forgetting it. It's just a type of running away from the issue or just trying to pretend it's not there. In any case, it's frustrating for the other one, but I don't know how to solve this one, because if your memory is bad, it just is. But with some things, I wonder how memory can be bad, because if it is bad, then you really, during that time together, during doing those crimes, you put zero consideration into that. So you were not really there. You were not really making this moment special, or in a bad way special, depending on what situation it is. Making the situation something that can affect the future, affect your self-development. You're one of the worst type of person if you do so. But this is just my opinion. The knife that hurts the most. One of the things that hurt the most. I don't think there is something that is like the ultra thing that is the only thing that hurts the most. We people are different, as I said. People react differently to different things. I think we have to be more aware whenever we create memories, whenever we do things to people, whenever we have relationships with people, whenever we interact with people, we have to make these things something that is not just, you know, a fly passing by. And what I forgot to mention just now, people may comment about, like, because I said, like, I experienced stuff like that in elementary school. You cannot excuse this with age. Age is not an excuse for your crimes. You're not 3, 4, 5 years old in elementary school. As I said, this thing continued from elementary school into middle school, so you're like 10, 11, 12 years old. You're older. You have an own consciousness, even though it's not the fully developed one, of course. But you still can already judge whether what you're doing is good, whether the person is crying and whether it's a bad thing it's crying about. You can distinguish between the emotions and say, oh, that person is suffering, it's in pain, it hurts, it's not good. Just saying that, don't find excuses when you find yourself in a situation like that, especially the villain party. Think about what the fuck is it you're just doing? And the victim party could think, what the fuck? Is it even worth to react to such an idiot? Depends on the situation, of course. You cannot apply this to each situation that easily. I'm trying to make people just be more aware of their surroundings and the people around them. I'm not trying to be any psychologist, I'm just reflecting kind of in a video format and just putting this out. I don't want to criticize individuals with that one. Maybe, of course, it's just things I release, but also my past or my experiences to people that are in my head right now, but doesn't mean they will see this video anyway, so I'm not trying to blame individuals here. I'm just trying to make a big picture of what is going on, of the things that we may not see sometimes, but which are harmful as fuck and make people traumatized, and which can be just avoided, because there will be still enough idiots. There will be enough people who do not listen to what I say, even though they maybe see my video or other people's videos which are similar. So if you have the courage to reflect your own behavior, that's great. One person is already a step into the right direction. Maybe that was even my intention of this video, because I wasn't really sure about my intention in the beginning, right? So maybe that's it. Moving an inch and hopefully making life easier, even just for like 0.01%, but it's still better than 0.00. That's it for this video. It's been a bit tough. I hope you could follow me. I hope this was not too, well, smashing. And I hope it was interesting to listen to me, to watch me talking about such stuff. It's more serious, as I said, and I don't know if I'm going to do something like that again. Of course, it depends on my mood. I will see how community will react to that. But for now, I will just leave it, let it settle, let it down, let it go. And I hope you can like this video, share it maybe if you think there's a person that maybe has to see this as well, and maybe people that think are struggling with similar issues or concerns or thoughts. You're not alone, and yeah, just do whatever you want. It's your life. You're free to react to things the way you think it's right. After you watch this video, of course, now you can react and comment. I hope you have a great week, a great time, and we'll see each other next time with hopefully a slightly better mood-lifting content. Bye.